Hey guys, it's Istebrak. I wanted to talk about painting from side view today. So I usually cover the importance of symmetry when it comes to function from front view. And the reason why that is so important to remember symmetry, and it's really easy to invest a lot of realism into the symmetry because the symmetry takes care of it. But the reason why it's so important is because the face, of course, is mirrored on both sides. So the more we maximize symmetry, the easier it will be for us to pull off a more believable face. And when we want to pull off some kind of horror factor, we break the symmetry. There are other also units that separate us from beauty, but symmetry is one big way for us to measure beauty and keep it intact. But when we're painting from side view, a lot of what we know about beauty, a lot of our skill factor just goes out the window because suddenly we've taken away half of what we're used to drawing. So side view is difficult because of the rotation factor. Also because it's just a different dashboard. You have none of the same things that you can depend on that'll pull off the beautiful face. The front view eye is very easy to paint because it has no rotation. There isn't any compression, one object in front of the other. There is no real need for the cube. You just need to remember the spherical factor. Not much of the cube is visible outside of three-quarter view and side view. So when we're looking at side view like this, the most important thing that I pick up out of my studies for side view when I'm teaching side view is to hide the outer corner. Like the most far corner of the eye, that is the thing that you should just be hiding as much as possible. Never try to show the inner corner of the eye. The more you try to show it, the further corner, the more unrealistic it'll look, the more you interrupt the rotation. And rotation is pretty much all you have anymore to keep the realism intact. You don't have symmetry. So hiding that outer corner, as you can see here, is really, really important in making it feel like the eye really has rotated away from the viewer. Another really, really important thing is to remember the convex shape of the sphere of the eye, the eyeball. It's so imperative that you remember that the eye is not just a flat window, that it sticks out, that it has a belly to it. And when we're thinking about three-quarter view, I've covered this in a lot of my three-quarter view lessons, you see the swell of cylindrical or spherical based objects that have a cylindrical or spherical geometric anatomy. So when we're rotating the eye in three-quarter view, we make sure that we have the side view, like that side swell of the eyeball wherever it's facing to which direction. And this is really, really prominent when you rotate the face completely and have a complete side view. So we end up having this just like side half of everything, that half of the ball of everything, the full side of the sphere. So we have that in the nose, the lips, the eyebrows, the forehead, if the forehead is particularly bulbous. If it's flat, you just keep it flat. Cheekbones and three-quarter view are really, really prominent sides of the geometric anatomy of the sphere or the cylinder. Lips I've covered, chin. All you need to remember that you have a spherical dome that you have to represent. And if you have a stylistic anchor that's pulling down all of that believability, then you will not remember to keep your geometric anatomy intact during rotation. So that sounds like a really abstract sentence, keeping geometry intact after rotation, but really that's where it is. It's in these nuances that we find improvement happen. It isn't just one quick fix that you follow a stencil and you just memorize that stencil forever. There are so many kinds of faces, so what you need to do is remember that there are fundamentals that unify all these unique faces. And the biggest things, no matter what kind of face you're dealing with, you're going to have to show the dome of the eyeball or the forehead or the cheek or the lip. You're still going to have to hide the outer corner of the eye. You're still going to have to show the silhouette of the lashes as they protrude from the side. You're going to have to represent different volume levels of different textures. So the eyebrows have more of an orbit than the forehead, and the nostrils, this complete side view of the nostrils looks very different from, of course, side view as compared to front view. We no longer have those teardrop downward facing shapes or cavities, but we have less of a demand for radial shading as well. We have more of a very fixed value and the cast shadow of the nostril, depending on where the light source is coming from. Also, one big thing that kind of just sneaks up on us is the light source. We forget that the light source can also rotate with the face. So if we're painting, suddenly we move the face to a side view, the light source hasn't changed and the cast shadows are all different. For some reason, we keep all the cast shadows moving away from the face when we're doing a side view. So it's nice to still have the light facing the face as the face faces away from us. So it's nice to still have downward cast shadows, which are still very, very beautiful. A lot of people avoid having cast shadows in a side view. I've noticed that in a lot of art from students and from other artists, is that just everyone avoids shadows in a side view for some weird reason. So I've noticed that apart from all the other value rules, keeping all your values harmonious, making sure that you're staying away from high contrast, these are the biggest tips that I can give you on painting a face from side view. So try one and see if you do fall under these bad habits of forcing too much visibility when rotation is in demand. Try to hide and go out of your way to hide the outer corner or the farther corner of the eye. And just see what it does for you. Remember that you're seeing all the wrinkles from the side, you're seeing all of the eyelids from the side, you're seeing the crease from the side, so you're going to have to show that. See that dome shape of the eyebrow bone? You're still going to have to show that dome shape. And it isn't just about showing it, it's about being able to see it and identify it in a reference. So that's a blind spot that you do have right now if you haven't done enough side view paintings. And the way to interrupt that or to nip that in the bud is to get a photograph. Lower the opacity by a little bit against a white background on Photoshop and start some trace over diagrams. Just simply get some longitude and latitude lines, make some meshes, grid lines all over the eye in all different kinds of angles, mostly side view for now, so you can figure out what's above what's in front of what needs to be represented with a dome-like volume on the z-axis, protrusion, any convex growth in the longitude or latitude lines that you throw on of the mesh. These are amazing studies that I always assign students who I find don't remember very well what's above what or what sits where. They don't really have an idea or like a topography map of what the altitudes are across the landscape of the face. So this is something that I always assign, and if you do find yourself having trouble deciding what needs to be represented with that dome convex shape of side view, which is so important for a successful side view painting, then a trace over diagram is definitely recommended by me. I've done a lot of studies and I've shown a lot of these on the videos on the Critique Hour. So thank you everyone for your patience. I'm sorry for the delay in this month's videos. I have had a little bit of a break, but hopefully everything gets back to normal. Thank you again for your patronage. You guys are amazing. Bye.